Be Mighty, a weekly dose of inspiring words of wisdom from the streets of New York City by artist and entrepreneur Terrence Kellerman of Dynamighty.
Hey guys, this is Terrence Kellerman. I am launching what is, I hope to be one of many video podcasts about the Be Mighty Flyer Project. So basically this is the first of those episodes, even though this is actually the 31st flyer. But let me first explain what the Be Mighty Project is, and then get into the details of this particular flyer this week, and then we'll leave it at that. So I started this in May of 2015. It was my birthday. I really had been thinking about a flyer project for a while. My girlfriend and I were talking about doing something kind of cool and unique in the streets of New York City, and the idea of a Be Mighty flyer came about. And so what it is every week the flyers have 10 different quotes on them, and each tab can be torn off, obviously. That's the whole idea. And then people can take them, carry them around, share them, do an Instagram with them, whatever ways they want to use that quote, those words of wisdom, that bit of inspiration in their day. Now, Be Mighty is an expression I've always said to myself, kind of in the early days of Dynamighty and founding the company. It was my way of pushing myself and inspiring myself to sort of believe in myself just enough to get to that next step. In fact, one of the things I used to do is I used to cut out the fortune cookies that I liked that had favorable quotes on them, and I would tape them to my monitor, so those things would be in front of me every day whenever I was working. It kind of motivated me. So on my 45th birthday, I thought of this idea. So far, I think over the course of the history of this project, I've put probably over 3,000 different flyers up around the city, more than that probably. I've created a website where they all live, and if you want, you can follow me at Be Mighty. It's on Instagram, and a lot of the posts and hashtags that I use, Be Mighty, are on there, so you can find me as well. So what I was thinking of doing as a regular sort of episode would be to, read all the different quotes and sort of give you my sort of interpretations of them. It does take a lot of time, actually, every week for me to sit there and find all these different things, and oftentimes they'll resonate with me, for different reasons. So I thought, why not share some of the thoughts behind the thoughts of, making the Be Mighty flyer. So why don't we do it? We can get into it right here. So we'll start with the first one. Trust because you're willing to accept the risk, not because it's safe or certain. Anonymous. Now, I feel that, this quote, to me at least, gets to the point of trying to be comfortable with risk, which I think is one of the biggest hurdles we have to do as human beings. Is we're always seeking comfort. We're always seeking, that safe zone, or, if I only do this much, then I'll finally get to where I need to be. That's not true. And that's kind of like that falsehood that gets you into a mess later when, you kind of get to that point and you want that next thing, just sort of an endless thing. So I think if it's better if you accept that there's always risk involved in life, and sort of let go of the dependency on certainty. It's a really tough thing to do, but really important one. Next quote is Michael Jordan. You must expect great things of yourself before you can do them. I think there's another quote like that, you might expect great things of yourself before others can expect them. But in any case, I think this is a good one in the sense that you have to set the expectations and maybe even the belief in yourself that you can do the things that you want to do. So it's a trick, right, of the mind, sort of to say, to let yourself believe in yourself enough to give yourself that power to say, yes, I can do this thing. I think so many times we're just kind of conditioned to say, well, that's for someone else, or yeah, maybe that'll happen to me someday, but it's not going to happen today because or maybe tomorrow, whatever, Powerball, we'll win that. But those things obviously never happen. You have to sort of believe in yourself first before anyone else can believe in you, and before your dreams can start to, align themselves. It really comes from within. Next one's from Anne Frank. I don't think of all the misery, but of the beauty that still remains. Now, I think that one is, it's one that I really can connect with it in the sense of, I don't know, just in the last 2 years, I've been in situations that have been so devastating, personally, within the company, that, nothing, it's just been, wow, I can't even say it, like, from, going through an ongoing divorce, separation, dealing with custody issues with my 2 daughters, and my business almost at collapse, and basically the factory owner in China disappeared overnight, took all the money, and I found out all within the space of like 3 months that my dad had throat cancer. My mom was in emergency with a staph infection. There was a gas leak in our building. We had to evacuate, which led to 6 months of work in the building. My grandmother, who raised me, passed away. I'm not making this. It's just like, was a cataclysmic feeling of like the world collapsing around me. And I literally had to wake up every morning and say to myself, you can be happy. That it was almost like I had to force my brain to say, it's okay. Even with all this happening, you can still appreciate the leaves on the ground, the reflections of the water and the puddles. It was literally like being happy and appreciative of every single minute and second of beauty that I did have, because you have to sort of focus on those things to sort of help you, to guide you through those tough spots. Because otherwise, if you start to really see everything around you as that negative, then that's it, game over. Next quote is Mark Twain: courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. That speaks to the first quote too, right? The risk. It's part of the trick of life. Again, I think it's, courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear. I think people that say, oh, for instance, like my daughter, Emilu. Hey, Lulu, I love you. I assume she'll be watching this one day when she's much older. I guess she might not be watching this. Anyway, but she did something at the beach the other day, and she built a little sandcastle, and this big wave came and washed the castle away, and her little mermaid Barbie was sitting on top, and it swept into the ocean. And as it was being drawn back, she got up and grabbed it, and she was terrified. She was like, so upset that this thing happened, and it almost lost her Barbie. And and I told her, I said, but you were so courageous. And she was like, no, I wasn't. And she really didn't think that courage and fear could go together. But in fact, that's the exact reality, is that courage is just being accepting of the fear that is involved in the situations you're in, not overcoming it. You never erase it. It's always there. This is why I bite my fingernails to the bone every Sunday night before the week starts, because I start thinking about all the things in the week. Still got to keep working on these flyers, obviously. Next quote, Richard Branson's a great one. A business has to be involving. It has to be fun, and it has to exercise your creative instincts. I think the greatest, I have this t-shirt that says, works for jerks. And I wear it, I even wore it like to the Inc. Business Council, not Inc. Business Council, but the Inc. Like the fastest growing company awards thing. Because as a way of sort of like, there's so much of our culture that's built around work that it almost like, elevates work to this like great status. It's not work that's important, it's life. It's, just sitting at a desk being busy all day doesn't make you a better person. Exercising your creativity and finding out, new things about yourself and life, that's that's something interesting. And I think that's what, the Branson quote's getting to. You have to be exercising your creative instincts. Okay, next is Bruce Lee. To hell with circumstances, I create opportunities. I love that too. I mean, it's the way you want to see the world, right? Which side of the coin do you want to look at? Do you want to think of the world as, this is my circumstance and this is what I've been given? I think a large portion of us do think that way, and that's kind of the crux of the problem. You can't ever think of things being any different if you don't think about it in terms of the opportunity, what's in front of you, how do you change? Those are the things that don't happen by themselves. I mean, of course, yes, you might win the lottery one day, or you might whatever. Second reference, I don't know what Powerball or something's going on in my head right now. But, you can't wait for fate to change your life. Creating opportunities is really what it's about. I love that one. Oliver Wendell Holmes. The great thing in this world is not so much where we stand as in what direction we are moving. I mean, I love that. I've always thought about this other phrase. It's more for like scientists. You can't understand both the position of something and its direction at the same time. You can only understand one fixed point or motion. And this is a really brilliant way of kind of bringing that together. Where you stand now has only been determined by, the course of actions of your thoughts of basically like your entire life. So, that's not as important as the decisions and thoughts that you're making right now to change the direction that your life is going. Where are you moving? That's a great one. Earl Nightingale. Here, this is very much related. We become what we think about most of the time, and that's the strangest secret. I mean, it's there's Buddha quotes like that. There's many sort of retellings of that same tale so many times that doesn't seem like it's much of a secret anymore, honestly. Come on, Earl. But it is very much the story of what you think about does become your focus. So getting back to the earlier moment, when things were looking so bad, refocusing my attention to those little things that were great or, beautiful around me, let me have a different vision of things, which then I think over time would allow me to find my way through those tough paths. This quote I'm about to say is not on the flyer, this week's flyer, but it was on an old one. And it's Winston Churchill. It says, when you're going through hell, keep going. So that's also some great advice. This next is Washington Irving. Little minds are tamed and subdued by misfortune, but great minds rise above it. So again, I mean, just how you want to take adversity. You can look at adversity and challenge as kind of like a, oh, woe is me moment. And of course, you'll get a lot of people commiserating with you and acknowledging and feeling sorry for you probably too. But that doesn't change the situation. The only thing that's going to change it is to rise above it. And, you do that every day, you do it every minute by your thoughts and actions and sort of transforming yourself through just things like this, through the Be Mighty Flyers. Next and last, I'm not afraid of storms, for I'm learning to sail my ship. Louisa May Alcott. Now, I love that because it's also very similar to a quote I just put on last week's flyer. It was about a smooth sea never made for a skilled sailor. I think, like I was telling my staff this week that, in the last couple of years, like I said, personally I've had very difficult times, but even in the business, we've had many challenges that just felt at times to be completely overwhelming. Like there's no way I'm going to find my way through this. And yet, you just keep going. You don't have to know, the end game. You just have to be able to get through today. Just take that one little step every time. And I think, when you think about going through all of that adversity, as I have in the last couple of years, I do know now that is, I like to think of it more as a challenge that's met with strength and resilience, rather than a sort of woe is me sort of tale. And I think when you do that, you realize that, whether it's God or Allah or Buddha or cosmos or the energy of the universe challenging you, but it is only through those challenges that I think we grow. Look, we're all pretty much, I think, kind of the same people. We like our comfort zones. We like, that sort of even keel approach to life. But then sometimes life just comes and kicks you in the ass, and you're like, oh shit, I totally don't want this right now. And sometimes life just throws all that on you at once, and you're just along for the ride. So it just all depends on how you want to think about it. So that's this week's Be Mighty Flyer. This is week 31. Again, this is the first segment I'm trying like this, so I'll see what some of the feedback is. If you guys have any suggestions, whatnot, you can just add it in the comments below. I'll also share with you quickly, you can follow me on the Be Mighty network. That's bemighty.net, and then it's /work with autofill. And there I give, this week's posts. You can also download your own flyers if you want to put one in your own home. Great thing to put on the refrigerator, or maybe at work, or even a local coffee shop if you're so inclined. Downloads for free at bemighty.network. And you can also follow me on Instagram. All my latest machinations of the Be Mighty project are there for all of you to share. Okay, and please, if you do see a flyer around somewhere, please take a pic, hashtag, and let me know you saw it. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I think I'll be doing some more of these. It just feels good to do good things, and I literally, like I said, this project came about as a sort of a necessity for myself to channel a way through these hardships, and I hope that it can go out and help and affect other people, because and that's really what the whole point of all this is anyway, right? That we learn and help each other. So go out there and be mighty.